Start in Photoshop with a high-resolution canvas. Draw characters and objects that fit my Halloween theme. Save the finished artwork as a PNG. Now open the PNG file in Illustrator. Open the little arrow beside Image Trace to bring up the tracing options. I usually select 16 colors to convert the image into vector shapes. This helps keep the vector version as close as possible to my original drawing. Once the tracing is finished, click Expand, right beside the Image Trace button, then right-click and choose Ungroup, so I can separate all the individual icons. Now I can start cleaning up some of the messy lines from the tracing process. While cleaning everything up, I also like to add little variations to some of the shapes. Once I'm happy with each individual item, I bring everything onto a 12 by 12 inch artboard. Then I start arranging the illustrations to create the actual pattern. Now select the items that extend outside of the artboard. I'll start with the items along the top edge. Duplicate the lollipop directly on top of the original. Control-C, followed by Control-F, then right-click. Go to Transform, then Move. Turn on Preview so you can see where the item is going. Enter the same value as the size of your artboard. Since I want to move this copy from the top to the bottom, I enter 12 inches in the vertical section and leave the horizontal value at 0. Next, select the items sticking out from the bottom edge. Again, duplicate them using Control-C and Control-F. Go to Transform, then Move. This time, enter -12 inches for the vertical value. That moves the duplicated items exactly to the top. Then delete any icons that are overlapping where you don't want them. Now let's do the items along the right edge. Select everything sticking out and duplicate them on top using Control-C and Control-F. Go to Transform, then Move. Set the horizontal value to -12 inches to shift the copies to the left and leave the vertical value at 0. For the last side, select the items along the left edge. Use Control-C and Control-F again. Go to Transform, then Move. This time, enter 12 inches in the horizontal box to move them to the right. Then delete any overlapping icons on the right side, and we're all done. Well, not quite. Use some smaller items to fill in the empty spaces. Once you're happy with the overall layout, create a new layer above the layer containing all of your pattern elements. On this new layer, create a 12 by 12 inch square. This should be exactly the same size as your artboard. Place the square perfectly in the center of the artboard, and make sure the square is sitting above all of the other artwork. Now select everything by dragging across the entire artwork. Go to Object, then Clipping Mask, then make. The shortcut is Control-7. This will hide everything that extends outside of the square. Make sure to crop the artwork afterwards so the objects and lines outside the border are completely removed. Now duplicate the entire finished tile. Place the copy directly beside the original to check for any misalignment along the edges. At this point, I didn't really like how the pumpkin and ghost looked. They felt a little too repetitive. And I forgot to duplicate the red lollipop, which caused the pattern to break. So I'll go back and adjust the composition. And I'll probably change it a few more times until I'm reasonably happy with the result. There's also another easy way to test how your pattern looks when repeated. Just drag and drop your finished pattern tile into the swatches panel. Then create a rectangle or square in any size you want. With the shape selected, click your new pattern inside the swatches panel. To change the scale of the pattern, right-click, go to Transform, then Scale, and reduce the uniform percentage. Make sure to uncheck Transform Objects. Now the shape will be filled with a smaller repeated version of your pattern. From here, you can compare the different versions you've created, and it's also a good time to experiment with different color combinations. For the final files, you can export the pattern as either a PNG or JPG. If it's intended for print, save it in CMYK. For digital use, save it in RGB, and that's it. Thank you so much for watching.